I used to think that this was my town. What a stupid thing to think.
Welcome to Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. I am your host, your buddy, your pal, your friend in warmth on this very, very, very cold morning. If you want to be part of the conversation, you want to huddle together and be included in the chatter of today's news and coldery going on out there, call, text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can leave a comment on the live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform that we still call Twitter. It's a packed show today. Lots of great stuff ahead. At 9:30, we are going to be talking to Francesca Pica, who is a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the state of real estate here in the state of Wisconsin. I said state like 3 times there, Calvin. Calvin, by the way, is on the boards. Calvin Butenhoff is on the boards. And we're actually, she's going to be on at 10 o'clock. My mistake. I looked at the wrong area here. At 9:35, after the 9:30 break, it's Terry Barr, the genie of just about everything here at Civic Media, will be joining us to talk about the story she's working on, including a very inspirational story about a man who decided to just make a change in his life at a more advanced age. So we want to have you around for that conversation because Terry is fantastic. And then at 10 o'clock, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll be talking to Francesca Pica, a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Then today, Calvin, by the way, good morning, Calvin.
Good morning, Greg.
I'm going to ask a dumb question. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's cold, trying to keep my bones from breaking.
Wow, that's very honest. Yeah, it is. It's very, very cold, folks, and you don't need me to tell you that. And I'd love to hear from you. Throw a text on the line or put a comment in the live stream. What is your temperature right now? We flew the Civic Media Mid-Mornings weather balloon up in the air, and currently in Radio Park in Racine, where we're at, it is negative 14 degrees. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, feels like minus 40 right now. So please, 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 I know I don't have to say this, but I want to say this because I just want you to stay safe. I saw temperatures as low as below 27 in Park Falls right now. I just want you to stay safe, stay warm. If you're going out today, maybe pack some blankets in your car, a shovel for, in case you get stuck, hand warmers, things of that nature, just in case something goes wrong. That way you can stay warm and stay safe. I think that's, just do that for me. I'm your radio dad today. I just wanted you to take care of yourselves. And, it's going to be like this most of the weekend. We are in an extreme cold warning right now through, I believe, the rest of the morning into the afternoon. And then from Friday into Saturday, we'll be having what's called an extreme cold watch. It's going to be cold regardless, so just be aware. And that goes from afternoon today, the cold weather advisory, through middle of tomorrow, Saturday. So just, of course, be aware. But I'm looking at the temperatures here, everybody, and I don't see anything above double digits until Saturday night, possibly a high of 17 on Sunday, but it's just going to be very, very cold for the rest of the week. And I mean, let's face it, we are in winter, we are in Wisconsin, and it is January. We probably have about another month of this back and forth. Because, Calvin, do you remember last week when it was 53 degrees, I think, on Wednesday? It melted all the snow on my yard, and then I was like, oh, cool, are we out of this? Nope, not even close. So, yeah. So just, I know it's the first thing we talk about at work, but please be aware, please be prepared, and we live in Wisconsin. Wear a second coat if you need to. So take care of yourself and stay close to Civic Media because we will have ongoing weather reports throughout the day. A great thing about Civic Media too is that it's the network, but we have a lot of radio stations here. If you go to civicmedia.us and you go to the tab that says stations, you can drop down and find the station closest to you. Go to that website, and then it will give you even more informed weather updates for you so you know what's going on in your community. So civicmedia.us, look for your stations, and then that way you can stream that station, you can look at the local news. It's just a great way to keep your local happenings going on in your life. So civicmedia.us. So I started the whole thing talking about the show day. So at 9:35, we have Terry Barr coming on to talk about her stories that she's working on. You can actually find on civicmedia.us/news. And then we're going to have Francesca Pica on to talk about the real estate market here in Wisconsin. And I'll be interesting to hear her thoughts. She's reported heavily on this and where we are as far as buying, as far as inventory, as far as prices going up or down, as well as we're going to talk about maybe some weird houses that have been for sale here in the state, as well as some very, very, very expensive houses. And then, and I'm hoping that maybe I'll talk to Calvin about this, we'll get some fun music. But at 10:35, it's the return, the second installment of Take It or Leave It, the highly excited game show where senior producer Tucker comes on to the show and reads a list of various things to me, and I simply say, take it or leave it. And today we're doing the James Beard edition. There was the James Beard nominations came out this week, and a lot of Wisconsin restaurants and chefs were nominated. So we're going to celebrate that. We're going to talk about, food we like, things we will or will not accept as far as a dining experience, and maybe a cocktail or two with funny names. So stick around for that at 10:30. That's going to be Take It or Leave It with senior producer Tucker. And then wrapping up the show today with This Shouldn't Be a Thing. So, Calvin, you said you're trying to stay warm. How was the drive? So you were out in western Waukesha County. What was the temperature like out there?
I don't know if I pay that much attention. I think my car said maybe when I left -10.
-10. Okay. Yeah. It's been negative, like between -12 and 15 here in Racine and Kenosha. So I hope everyone here, if you like I said, drop it in the comments, drop it in the live stream. Tell us what the weather's been like where you're at. And just, again, please stay safe because I want you to be healthy and happy. Here, let's see. Joshua in Wausau listening, WXCO. Thank you so much, Joshua, for listening. He says, -24 in Wausau. I know there's not a whole lot of difference between -14 and -24, but that seems like just a boatload of difference. So, yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why it seems to be shocking all the time that we are in Wisconsin and we seem to be always surprised by the cold. But all right, let's kick it off with some news here. And this is really, I think it's good news. I do. It's something that Jane and I had talked about for years on this show, and that was the issue with PFAS here in Wisconsin, what's forever chemicals, as they're also known. And there was a bunch of money that was sitting in an account for a long time, $125 million that had been sitting, not allocated, not talked about, kind of ignored. And what that money set to do was to address cleanup, getting folks bottled water if they needed it, and just basically to help make sure that we can create a clean water system here in Wisconsin and keep the PFAS out of our systems. And one of the things that always came up, though, was the problem of, quote, the little guy getting in trouble. That was one of the reasons why the Republicans didn't want to release the money, because they felt like it would lead to regular folks getting in trouble, prosecuted, I guess. That's what sometimes they would say, is that they would be in trouble for not knowing that PFAS were in their water system or not knowing that they were the cause of PFAS contamination. Well, luckily, in the Wisconsin Public Radio here, Danielle Keating with the byline, Governor Tony Evers and GOP lawmakers say a deal is within reach on addressing PFAS. I think this is good news. Governor Evers and GOP lawmakers say they are optimistic that a long-awaited deal is in sight over releasing now $132 million set aside to address PFAS contamination. This is between the governor and a new bill that was authored by State Senator Eric Wimberger of Bocanto, Jeff Mursaw of Crivets, both Republicans. The The proposal would create grant programs to address PFAS contaminations and exempt certain individuals and facilities from paying for PFAS cleanup under the state's spills law. There was a bill that went through last year that was vetoed by Governor Evers because he felt like it was going to let polluters off the hook and limit the authority of the state's DNR. And I think that's something we talked about a lot here, is that we want there to be a cleanup effort. We want there to be clean water and clean land in Wisconsin, but we also want to make sure that those who are part of the problem, they pay. They are held accountable. And we always talked about it in terms of businesses. But when those who did not want to, or at least the money spoke about it, they spoke in terms of individuals who would be held accountable, moms and dads, farmers, whatnot. And I always asserted that, okay, if we're going to release this money, yeah, there's probably people out there who are part of the problem, not intending, and certainly couldn't face a huge fine for it or some sort of that sort of liability. So let's protect them. And that's what this amendment does. It includes protections for innocent landowners, funding for emergency bottled water, and around $80 million in grants for local government, and $35 million for a grant program to replace or rebuild contaminated wells. We heard earlier, I think it was like a month ago, Angel Island up north, they finally are working on getting a new water system because their system was so contaminated with PFAS. They've been drinking bottled water for years now. So this is all good work. Now, I do understand the concern that it says here that we want to make sure that people who are accountable, businesses, organizations, actually do face some sort of consequence, paying a fine or paying for the cleanup. And when it comes to who gets the protections, that's for discussion, and that's for us to be aware of. But I think this is a good step forward. If you have any comments on this, if you are somewhere that is affected by this, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. This is a matter we're talking about. Compromise. We're talking about bipartisan. We're talking about protecting our land and making sure people, can have clean drinking water in their neighborhoods, and make sure that their kids don't get sick from what's going on in the water or in the land. So again, Governor Evers and GOP lawmakers say there's a deal within reach on addressing the PFAS and releasing long-awaited monies of over $132 million to address the contamination. If you have thoughts on this, let me know. Drop it in the comments on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, the platform we still call Twitter, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. We'd love to hear from you on this one. Coming up in a moment, we're going to talk about Wisconsin Eye. It looks like there's a road to our ability to watch our lawmakers work. Coming up on Civic Media Mid-Mornings, my name is Greg Bach. Stay tuned, stay warm, and stay close.
But wherever you are, I hope that road leads you home again to the world we want to live in. To a world you want to live in.
Welcome back to Civic Media Mid-Mornings here on Civic Media. My name is Greg Bach. I am your host, your buddy, your pal, the guy who is desperately trying to stay warm while I'm talking to you because it is darn cold outside. Darn cold all over the state. If you want to talk about that, if you want to tell me how cold it is, if you want to talk about what your plan is, are you staying inside today, this weekend? I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm not going anywhere. Not at all. If you want to be part of the conversation, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC is the number. You can also leave a comment on the live stream. We're currently live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. Still ahead, we've got Francesca Pica from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. She is a business reporting intern, business journalist intern, talking about real estate here in Wisconsin. And we just received word, unfortunately, Terry Bauer will not be able to join us. She is not feeling well. So we just say to her, feel better, have some tea, have some soup, rest and relax. Want you to be very, very comfortable. And I mean, it's kind of the weekend, tuck in, just be warm, be comfy, take care of yourself if you're out there also sick. So drink some tea, have some soup, relax, watch a TV show, read a book, just take care of yourself. That's all I care about. PJ on the live stream says that in the Fox Valley right now is 17 below zero. So that is officially, I think, what weather people call cold. So we've been talking about this on and off for the past few months because as of last year, the Wisconsin Eye, which is essentially what I've heard it described as Wisconsin C-SPAN. It was a station where you could watch, or a website where you could watch our lawmakers work, voting, giving their speeches, doing their thing. It was our way of holding our lawmakers accountable and seeing what they are talking about in the Capitol while being the voice of the people. Well, it lost its funding and it went dark as of a few months ago, and it was in danger of just going away. But according to, there was a lot of problems with that. A lot of people had an issue with the fact that we could not watch our lawmakers, the fact that there was no way of keeping them accountable through Wisconsin Eye. A lot of people don't watch it. I understand that. There are a lot of people who don't understand what it's about, but it's important because it is a public tool to watch our public officials do what they do, earn the paycheck that we pay them as taxpayers. And there has been a deal that is being tentatively reached. This is coming out of Madison via the Assembly Speaker and Minority Leader, that is Robin Voss and Greta Neubauer, respectively. They've announced they've reached a tentative agreement to fund Wisconsin Eye. It was during a joint news conference. The two said they plan to introduce a bipartisan bill shortly that would take $10 million originally meant for matching funds for the Public Affairs Network and place it in a trust fund. Interest from the fund would be used to finance the network's operations. And Governor Evers has said that he has not been involved in the talks on this bill, but this is something that I believe is very important. And what's funny is that Pat Kreitlow some time ago was on the show. He said that this is a tool that's actually used quite a bit by lobbyists, and lobbyists were very upset that A, it went away, and B, it was not being funded. So Calvin, it's a banner day. 2 stories in a row talking about bipartisan measures to fund programs that help the people of Wisconsin. And I think that funding Wisconsin Eye is very, very important. And I look forward to seeing where it goes from here. Right now, as they said, it's a tentative agreement. We don't know all the details yet, other than they would fund it with $10 million, and the interest that was gained through the trust would go to finance the network's operations. Also important that I believe it was 30,000 hours of footage was available to watch from the past as research to find out what our lawmakers talk about. Again, this is about transparency in our government. This is about holding our elected leaders accountable. And in the past couple of weeks, there have been some problems because folks were coming in with cameras to live stream it, and they were being shut down because there are laws in place. There are rules in place that say you cannot live stream. You cannot, unless you are a certain person, whether you are elected official or you are of a certain committee, you could not do that, which I found to be very suspect. But those bills have been around. One of them was around since 2005. So I don't know. But this is good. This is great. And I think that, one, it being bipartisan is a very good sign. It's always good to see when they work together, but also when we're seeing this matter of funding the Wisconsin Eye, something that people didn't realize how much it was worth until it was gone. And when a measure of accountability and transparency is taken away, that's when people start to act. And we saw Republicans actually unhappy about this as well. So it seems like this is a bipartisan measure with good support, and I hope it makes it all the way through. As we know more, we will tell you, because if you want to access the Wisconsin Eye, you should be able to, and hopefully this does exactly what it's supposed to do. And yeah, I'm very happy about this. I like seeing these kinds of stories. So we are going to take a short moment of a break. We're going to go and grab some hand warmers. We're going to grab some snacks and some water. But when we come back, more news. And do not forget, Francesca Pica from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel will be here to talk about real estate in Wisconsin. She is a business reporting intern. And also, 1035. The second installment of Take It or Leave It here on Civic Media Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. That's Calvin Butenhoff on the boards right there. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, stay warm, and stay close. Welcome back to Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. I am your host, your buddy, your pal, and the guy who should have worn a hoodie to work today because even though it's not super cold here, it's still pretty chilly, and we hope you're staying warm. You're listening to us on the Civic Media Radio Network. If you want to be part of the conversation, call or text 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on that live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. Still ahead, we have, we have Francesca Pico, who is a business journal intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, here talking about real estate, the state of real estate, and what it's like in Wisconsin when you're trying to buy a house, especially for folks who may be younger, millennials or Gen Zers who want to buy a house one day. So Francesca will be here in the 10 o'clock hour after the news. And then at 10:35, I'm very excited about this. This is a new game we play every Friday. It's called Take It or Leave It. Today, it's the James Beard edition. The James Beard Award nominees were announced this week. There are a lot of chefs and restaurants from Wisconsin who are part of that group. And we're going to talk about, cocktails, drinks, food, restaurant experiences. Tucker's got a whole list. And the conceit is he lists them off. I say take it or leave it, and then I give my reason why. And you can always be part of that conversation. You can always tell us your thoughts on the matter by throwing a text on the line or by leaving a comment on the live stream, because we love hearing from you. This is news out of Washington. Will affect Wisconsin student borrowers for sure. This coming out of Shawneen Miranda has the byline. This came out earlier this week out of the Examiner. U.S. Education Department delays plans to garnish wages of student borrowers in default. I don't know about you. I am very lucky. My student loans I paid them off a while ago. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of planning, really, really intentional planning to pay them off, but they are. But I know a lot of folks who are not in the same situation. But less than a month ago, the agency said it would begin garnishing wages by sending notices to roughly 1,000 borrowers in default in the first week of January. And this department said that the temporary delay would allow it to implement major student loan repayment reforms under Republican tax and spending cut bill that President Donald Trump signed into law in 2025. So it seems like something he signed, Cal, I don't know about this, something he signed last year is going to influence the decision they made earlier this year to garnish the wages of people who are having a hard time paying their loans right now. And do you have student loans? Do you know someone who has to have student loans? What are you guys doing to get through? Are you making the payments? Awesome. Did you take advantage of the deferrals and the forbearances during COVID, during the lockdown? I know people who did, who can, for many, many months and a couple of years as well. It's tough. It's not lost on me personally that I am without student loan debt. I have other debt. I have a mortgage and I have a car payment, but there's something about a student loan debt that just seems so overwhelming. Kelvin, do you have student loan debts? Are you someone who took out loans, or did you have a system, or were you lucky enough to have your parents help?
I have student loans. I went to a relatively cheap school. I went to UW-Whitewater, and I got an $8,000 scholarship, and I got some financial aid. So I have just maybe around $30,000, a little less, which is still a lot, but it's not a lot compared to others my age. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is when I think for me personally, like I took out student loans, I got a couple of grants because I went to school, quote, later in life. To them, late 20s was later. But I ended up with a political science degree and about $45,000 in student loans. And it felt insurmountable, and I was very irresponsible for a while about it. And then I had to be quite intentional, and I made some big moves as far as like taking some savings and it just was about, I was like, do I pay off more now, or do I do it? Do I pay it for like the next 30 years? And I didn't want to do that. Plus it's good because now I have a mortgage, but I want to know what you're going through. And where are you at with your student loans? This is a big issue. During the Joe Biden era, it was about trying to get student loan forgiveness. It was about trying to get people back on a path of being able to go to college, grab that education, because we've heard from so many people, on a weekly basis now, when we talk about the things that are really, really worrying folks, it's education. And it's not just the quality of the education, which is very important, but how to access it. And when we have systems like this that are happening where people are saying, well, we're going to garnish you because you weren't able to pay, that makes it not attractive. Now, I know there are people who are out there being like, well, too bad you decided not to pay, or you shouldn't have gone to college. I don't see that as a quality, humane way of looking at it. Folks are in trouble. They need help. There should be ways of being able to, take student loan forgiveness off the table. There should still be mechanisms for people who are in default to get them back to a place of being able to pay, to get themselves to square so they can pay this off one day. I don't think garnishing their wages is something that is helpful, smart, good, kind. I know, good and kind. What a weird way of approaching it. But I just think there are other ways of doing it. PJ on the live stream says, I'm waiting for my TPD application to get finalized. My loans are over $75,000. I was in IBR, I believe that, I don't know what that one means, for a long time while trying to get a job, but my degrees did not help. Yeah. When we talk about that too, it's about what are we going to school for? Earlier in the week, we spoke to Michelle Jackson from the UW Career Exploration Center. And, I'm happy you got a degree, PJ. I'm sorry that it did not help. And I hope that you are in a place where that does now. But the whole process of education and the access of education is something that we need to talk about. And I think that alone is tough enough. When we talk about how will I afford school, how will I use my degree if I get one, how will I get, and just finding a job coming out of school, those are already a problem. Those are already hard for people. But when we talk about if you get into a place where you can't afford to pay, where you can't get yourself going on the payments you need to make, it's really, really daunting to think, well, then the government's going to come and garnish my wages, which doesn't help you for so many, doesn't look on your credit, it takes away from the money you're making for your regular life, whether you're trying to, imagine that if you are in default in your student loans, you're not making a lot of money, and therefore money might be tight. I'm sorry to assume something if that's the case, but still, I don't know a lot of millionaires who are in default on their student loans. When you're in default on student loans, you are already having a hard enough time as it is. I know a couple people who have been through that, and it's not like they're sitting there polishing their Mercedes. They're making decisions on what they can and cannot pay for. PJ goes on to say, IBR means income-based repayment, which I was on to for a while as well. And so I'm happy to see that this program is going to be paused. I don't think it is what it needs to happen to help students or to student borrowers to get back on track. It says the delay would give borrowers more options to repay their loans. That's great. I love that. I think that's when the Department of Education steps in and says, here are our programs. Come up with a whole new set of them then. We have forbearance, we have deferral, but really when it comes down to it, maybe it's time, if we're not going to be looking at student loan forgiveness, maybe it's time to look at just a whole new plan on how to get people back on track, paying their loans, getting them to square, because as I said, just for me, $45,000 is a lot of money, and people I know are in it way, way harder, way deeper. I remember talking to one guy, he said he was in it for $500,000 because he went to medical school. I almost said doctor school, by the way, Calvin. I almost said doctor school. PJ says options, sustainable wage jobs would help. Yes. And that's a bigger part of the conversation. That's the whole pie. when we're talking about it. We're talking about jobs that sustain, jobs that cannot be thrown overseas. And this is just one little portion of it. How do we make it easier for people to not only access education, but also not make them terrified if they go into default that they're never going to come out of it? So that's just something I hope to see. It seemed like they wanted to do it, and it was wildly unpopular, and they stepped back and said, well, maybe we'll come up with more options. So that's good. Now, Calvin, really quick here, are you on the TikTok?
Not really.
Not
No.
really? Okay.
I have become an old person, and I watch Facebook Reels and
Wait a minute.
Twitter
Whoa.
videos.
Hold on. What does that mean, you're old? Because why? Why is someone old if they're watching it on... I was told that you're old if you watch it on Instagram, too.
Well, Instagram and Facebook are essentially the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know. I just feel like TikTok's more hip. Like, TikTok is like the originator. Like, everything you're seeing on Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels is just filtered to you from TikTok.
Okay. Well, I asked because there was a story that's been running through the headlines here, various papers, that says TikTok strikes deal for new U.S. entity ending long legal saga. And this was all there was no problem with this, if I'm not mistaken, Calvin, with TikTok until Donald Trump said, I don't like TikTok. It's a Chinese-owned company. And if it's a Chinese-owned company, they're going to be taking our data and taking our information. And, I mean, what did that strike you when you heard that for the first time? When all of a sudden, like, of all the things going on in the world, we're talking about access to education. We're talking about healthcare. We're talking about buying a house. We're talking about affordability, grocery prices. And someone says, TikTok's bad. And you're like, is that the worst thing it is? Is that what we should do? Like, did you have any sort of opinion on that when you heard, Calvin?
Well, I mean, I obviously thought it was stupid. This concern over our data only seems to apply to China, and I'm not saying we shouldn't be concerned about sending our data to China.
Yeah, exactly.
But we should also be concerned about the American corporations, the American government stealing and selling our data as well. So it's not a real concern unless you actually look at all forms of data theft.
Oh, absolutely. And that was my thought too, is like, I'm pretty sure that we were talking to Facebook about data access, and a former Doge employee admitted to taking Social Security information and using it for his own benefit. So when we talk about data acquisition and using it for whatever reason, I feel like, yes, all over the world it should be a problem and it should be a concern we should be looking at. But I feel like this deal for China to create a new entity to make TikTok a U.S. company is not at the highest level of concern here in this country, but I could be wrong. If you have thoughts on it, let me know. If you're afraid that TikTok and TikTok only is going to steal your data and not other U.S. companies, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC is the number. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about an inspiring story about someone who decided to make a change at a later age in life. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Civic Media Mid-Mornings here on Civic Media. My name is Greg Bach. I'm your host. Stay tuned. Stay close.
Very thankful
Changes. Turn and face the strange changes.
Welcome back to Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. I am your host, your buddy, your pal, your believer in personal warmth, because it is very, very cold outside, as we've been talking about. We are on the air live, and we're happy to have you here with us. You can always be part of the conversation. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. Very excited to have you here this morning. Still ahead after the 10 o'clock news, Francesca Pica is going to be here. She is a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, discussing real estate here in Wisconsin. And got ourselves another installment of Take It or Leave It. This time, yes, it's the fabulous new game show where our senior producer Tucker comes on the air and gives us a list of things based on a thing that happened, and then I say things and tell you why. So basically, he has a list of things having to do with the James Beard Awards, because the nominations came out this week, and a lot of them there are many Wisconsin chefs and restaurants who have been nominated for the award, and we talk about them. Tucker has a list. I take it or leave it. I give you the reasons why, and I may even have some thoughts of my own today regarding cocktails in Wisconsin. But you don't want to go anywhere. Still lots of great shows still ahead, and then this shouldn't be a thing to close it all out for the week. And then I want you to all go home. Just go home, get in the house, bundle up, because it's so very cold right now. The Civic Media mid-morning weather balloon has been thrown into the air, and right now we are sitting still at negative. Oh, Calvin, got warmer. It's negative 12. Feels like negative 37. Yeah, we did it. We were talking about bipartisan measures earlier. Now it's getting warmer outside, but we are still in an extreme cold warning. So please be aware. We are going to go into extreme cold watch this afternoon into Saturday. It's still going to be low double digits into the single digits. Very, very cold wind chill factor. Stay safe. Stay warm. If you're going to be traveling, make sure you prepare. Take some blankets, hand warmers. It's just, please do that. I'm being your mom and your dad, your grandma and your grandpa, all in one entity. I just want you to take care of yourself and don't get yourself hurt in these cold weathers right now. John on the live stream says, no, man, negative 17 in Oshkosh. Still, it's balmy. Yep. Let's put those shorts on. Don't put shorts on. Please do not do that. But yeah, we're happy you're here today. Happy you're sharing time with us. Really, really appreciate it. And we were supposed to have Terry Barr on this morning. We were supposed to talk about a story she was working on, a story she's following. She did send us some audio, so I thought I'd share that as well, because I think it's a great thing to talk about. And honestly, we'll have her back when she's feeling better, and we will talk about the story on the whole, because I think this is something for me personally that is very important, because as I'm getting older, the desire to try new things is still there in my heart, but I'll sometimes get discouraged because of my age. I think to myself, don't get mad at me for saying this if you're older than me, folks. I'm too old. Where do I start? Where do I begin? How do I do this? And then instead of trying it, you don't. And then you said, well, I should have given it a shot. Should have tried it. But this is a story that Terry's been following about one person who decided at a more advanced age to take up a new journey in health. Calvin, can you play that clip, please?
As I looked at age 70, I mean, it's when you're out there in these races, there's very few people who are over 70. I'm very thankful. Before each race, it's really reflection time of to say, this is really great. I can do this. So I thought with 70, that would be that mark to me is a real benchmark. We all have friends, family who have left us or who have fought that battle through cancer. And I think it's just a great message to send out there that we need to fight back, we need to live on, and we need to do for others what we can.
And so this is a gentleman who decided to start doing 5K runs. at that age. And I believe wanted to, if I'm not mistaken here, let me pull up my little cheat sheet here from Miss Terry Barr herself. She said that a man turned 70 last year, and his resolution for 2025 was to run 7 5Ks, something he'd never done before. And I think, whether it's a health journey or whether it is, learning how to play an instrument, or for me, I've been wanting to start a very beginning journey on woodworking. I think that's an important thing to talk about, and we'll have Terry back. We'll have Terry back on the show. We'll talk more in depth about this story, get her thoughts on this. But resolutions versus non. I mean, that's a I think that's a conversation to have, because people will at the beginning of the year say they want to do something, and then they get discouraged, and then it turns into something bad. And I don't like people feeling like that. But if there's something that you want to try, if you are over a certain age, you say, hey, I want to go for this. I want to know about it. I want to know about these things. And we might not talk about them today, but you can definitely tell us now, and we'll talk more about it with Terry when she's here, because I think those are important conversations to have out loud, to say, yeah, I may be this age, but I want to try this because, as the gentleman said, you never know. You don't want to leave this world with regrets and saying like, man, I should have taken up archery. That's right. I said archery. But when we come back after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to be speaking to Francesca Pica, who is a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, discussing real estate in Wisconsin, affordability in Wisconsin, and some of the weirder, crazier, more expensive homes here in Wisconsin. But don't go anywhere. Grab a snack, grab some ham warmers, get some water, come on back. You are listening to Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. Stay tuned. Stay close. Good morning, Francesca. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all the help kind of I've been having kind of setting this up. So
okay.
Am I too dark?
You're perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect. Yeah, you're good. You're good to go. You sound good. It looks good. It's good lighting. And thank you for not being sitting in front of a very loud painting or a bunch of whatever. So it's great. It's perfect. So just to be, it's Francesca Pica.
Yep.
And you are a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. So this is a longer break. We come back at 10:06. And so feel free to grab some water if you'd like. And when we come back, excuse me, I'm going to put you back into the waiting room, and I will reset the show, start it off from the top, kind of give a layout of the rest of the hour, and then I will bring it into our interview. I will bring you onto the live stream, and we'll go from there. And we'll start very basic about you, your history, and what you do at the Journal-Sentinel, and then we'll move into the conversation further.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Is there anything you would like to cover specifically? I was looking at the sales reports and on the home reports, looking at everything basically you laid out here. Is there's anything else that you want to cover?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think with the new report, most of that's already kind of touched on in some of the questions that are kind of general topics that I saw that you were looking to outline. So I think we're good.
Great. Excellent. All right, cool. So we come back in a little more than 3 minutes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the conversations. Again, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, talk to you yeah.
All right.
Okay. Oh, can you silence your notifications as well? Because those will come out over. Thank you very much.
Grab this real quick.
Oh, and then one last thing. Calvin is our technical producer, and he will do there he is. Right there. He's right there. He'll do hand signals like this and this and this. This basically means how many minutes are left in the segment. If you're talking when he does this, that just means wrap it up because we have hard breaks and we got to get on out of there. So yeah, if you see that, just know you got to wrap up the thought. We can always come back to it on the other side of the segment if we can, but I just don't want to have to cut you off in the middle of a thought.
Sounds good. I'll keep an eye out for that. Let me just make sure I have my notifications silenced.
Okay, great. Cool. I'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Cool. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Welcome back to Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. I am your host, your buddy, your pal, your friend in all things staying warm because it is cold out, but you're here today and we appreciate you spending your time with us this morning. You can always be part of the conversation. The number is the same whether you call or text 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream. We are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform that we still call Twitter. Still lots of great show ahead for you today at 10:35. Another installment of the award, not nominated, but well recognized as a thing show. Take it or leave it. It's the second one. We did one last week. We're doing a second one. So I'm just waiting for the WBAs to roll in for us because this is the height of art. So take it or leave it. Today it's the James Beard edition. The James Beard Award nominations were announced this week, and a lot of very deserving chefs and restaurants here in the state were part of that group. So we'll be talking about that. my thoughts on dining experiences, my thoughts on cocktails, my thoughts on cocktails. I love a cocktail. I'm just putting it out there. But you can be a part of the conversation too. Let us know your thoughts on the restaurants. Let me know about restaurants in your area that don't get the love they deserve. It's a great restaurant with a cool burger and good prices. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And then this shouldn't be a thing rounds out the show for this week. Today is the Harpy Ending Edition. See what I did there? That's called a pun. Harpy Ending Edition. So lots of shows still ahead, but we're going to move it on to our first guest this morning. She is a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Her name is Francesca Pica, and she is our guest today. Good morning, Francesca. How are you? First of all, are you inside safe, warm? Are you okay there?
I am safe. No worries.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Thank you for having me on this very cold January day.
Let's see here. Looking at this, the mid-mornings in Civic Media, still -12, Calvin. Ugh. Is that what, I assume you're in the Milwaukee area?
Yes. Here in Milwaukee, it's around the same. So
Yeah.
it's that wind chill, though. It's even colder.
Yeah.
-30, it feels like. Just awful.
I like telling my friends who are still enamored with winter must be so beautiful. I'm like, sit down. Just -12. Oh, that's really cold. -40 with the wind chill. Oh my God. It's like, yeah.
Exactly. It almost feels like the temperature is lying to you. It's like, no, you have to check the wind chill because that's where the real fun is.
Exactly. But we're not talking about weather right now, although we're Wisconsinites. We could talk about the weather all day long. We're talking about the work you do at the Journal-Sentinel, and it's very unique reporting. Tell us about you and what you do at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and how you got into this, I don't want to say niche topic, but something that I feel like when we talk about the headlines, we talk about the headlines, but this is something that I think also really affects the people. Tell us about what you do there.
Yeah. So at the Journal-Sentinel, I cover kind of a smattering of different areas. So I do a lot of real estate, which is what kind of we're going to be focusing on, but also energy and utilities, as well as grocery prices, and as well as air travel. I do I take a lot of trips to the Milwaukee airport, and what kind of combines them all together is the idea that these are kind of big, everyday, expenses that people encounter in their life. Their energy bill, their mortgage bill, their grocery bill, their travel expenses. And we've seen, especially with the rise in concern about affordability and, the number of Americans overall who are really worried about, making all these payments and covering everything, that these are kind of really important things that people are looking at. So yeah, I'm very excited to be able to kind of dig into that with you.
So I want to talk about real estate in a moment, but I do have to ask. You said something very interesting. You say you take a lot of trips to the airport. Now, are you taking trips, or are you just going there going, still there?
I cover Milwaukee Mitchell International, and I've never flown out of it. Never flown out of it. But I've been there
yes, you have
countless times.
So why would you, is it reporting on news from the airport? Like what brings you to the airport that makes you why do you go there? What do you generally covering?
So I cover news that happens at the airport. A lot of the time, they're doing new construction projects, or TSA is announcing new changes, or there's going to be new flights added. So those things are stuff that I come to for. And then I also talk to passengers about what's your response to these changes? How are you feeling about this? And that's always something that's, insightful to see as well. And so right from the source, right at the airport.
I was going to say, in a time when opinions are probably very both honest and brief when
right,
it comes to
right.
people traveling, they're like, I don't care. I don't have time. I don't like it. It's too high. It's too low. Why do I have to take my shoes off? Okay. Well, that's very interesting. And you've never flown out of Mitchell. Okay. Well, that's just that. That's going to stay in my brain for a while. Well, let's talk about real estate. This is a topic that can be discussed for hours and days because there's so many nuanced pieces to it. But when it comes to Wisconsin, the overall housing and buying of homes here, what does it look like? What did it look like in 2025 versus where people may say it could go in 2026 if on projections?
Right. Yeah. So 2025 was kind of a weird year for kind of the overall market. There were kind of a couple big things that were happening, and then there's kind of this longer term housing shortage that kind of the whole state has, but is more acute in kind of urban areas like Milwaukee and Madison. Kind of the big thing that the State Realtors Association recently found is that home prices are rising, but they're rising at kind of a slower rate than they have been in like the last 5 or so years. So that's pretty notable in the sense where you are seeing this kind of ease of the pace at which home prices are rising, and that can be pretty kind of a good sign for buyers, that things aren't kind of as crazy as they were in the days of the COVID pandemic, where low mortgage rates really drove a lot of people to snatch up homes as quickly as they could, and that put a lot of pressure on prices. And the other thing is, like I mentioned there, the kind of the mortgage rates, and that's something that's obviously across the whole country. They were pretty high over the past couple of years. They rose a lot to kind of try to cool off the super hot housing market. And it seemingly has been working, and it's kind of put a little bit of moderation on home prices. And now they're starting to come down. Again, slowly a little bit, month by month. And so that's something that can be good for home buyers as well, that they are going to get, a better mortgage rate. And absolutely. It's also kind of a good thing for those sellers who bought those low interest rate homes in the pandemic era. They were kind of holding on to those because of how good their rate was. They didn't want to trade it in for a worse rate. Well, now they kind of have more of a chance to go back onto the market.
If you're just joining us on Civic Media Mid-Mornings, we are talking to Francesca Pica, who is a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. We're discussing the real estate market, the real estate state of the union. I don't know how you would say it, but like where we are with real estate here in Wisconsin. And I think there's a couple of things that I looked at the reports you sent, and something that really hit me was the fact that, the amount of days, the average days a house stays on is far different than it was a few years ago. I mean, there was a time where I would say in that 2020, 2021 time, if you didn't have the amount asked for plus a bundle of cash plus a bunch of things you would go for, you didn't get there immediately, you would lose the house. Houses would sell in 24 hours, and that was it. And it just became very, very difficult to even look at houses, let alone buy one. I mean, is it still very hard to buy a home? And is that from 2008, also from the pandemic? What is it like right now for people to buy homes as far as the process goes?
Yeah, so you picked up a good point about the number of days on average homes are spending on the market. That's been ticking up over the past few years, and that gives home buyers a lot of relief, because they just don't have to jump on the first thing they see. They don't have to feel like, we need to, up our offer to make sure we get this home because we're competing with so many people. It's going to get snatched up so quickly. That alone gives people breathing room, and is less likely for them to have to pay more for a home, because they, will be able to shop their options more easily than they were in the past. But I think looking at kind of the overall, just like historical trends, there's still not enough housing overall in the state to kind of meet demand. Like it's improving, but it's still kind of got a ways to go, especially in urban areas. And that's where you kind of see a difference in the different regions of the state. It depends a lot on where you're looking. So if you're someone who is looking in Milwaukee or Madison or even places like Green Bay, you're going to still see a lot of those kind of rising prices. You're going to see a lot more stiff competition, just because they're kind of still behind on the housing supply side of things, and have been since 2008.
and we only have a few minutes in this segment left. I want to say, like, because what you're talking about there also, you know, when I looked at the reports, it said the inventory for houses under like $150,000 to $175,000 is so low. Whereas, like, they're like, but the inventory for houses over $500,000 is, well, we got tons of those. Of course you do. But like when young people, Gen Zers and millennials, are looking at maybe getting that first house, when they see that inventory so low, it's just very discouraging. What do you hear from folks who are those ages who just are like, no, can't do it?
Yeah, you're getting a lot of people who are seeing what they can compromise on in terms of what, you know, the size of their home, where it's located, what school district it's in, if they're, you know, thinking about family and kids. It's a lot of that of, okay, I'm not going to get the type of home that I'm looking for right away. It's just not feasible. There aren't enough of them in my price range. So, you know, I'm going to take, you know, I'm going to look around, expand my search, maybe look in places where, you know, aren't my ideal location, but, you know, it's what's available to me. And you're also kind of seeing people still with those higher interest rates. There are still more people who maybe would be looking for homes that are still kind of trying to wait it out until those, you know, if those keep falling, then that could kind of help them financially as well and feel like they're in a more comfortable place to look. So there's kind of two pools of people that are, you know, either they are looking, but they're compromising, or they're kind of waiting to really enter the market until they might find some more favorable conditions.
And I think that's a point I would make. When you're looking at buying a house, really search for a good real estate agent. A good real estate agent is going to gear you in the right direction and give you the hard advice you need to hear and be very honest with you. And I was very lucky to have one, because in the same position, it's like, there's a house, it's available, we should buy it right now. And she's like, no, you're not buying this house. It's a terrible house. Don't do that to yourself. So we're going to be talking more with Francesca Pica from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel on the other side of the break, talking about the housing market in Milwaukee and some very expensive and I guess, oh, cool, a Barbie house too. All right, cool. We'll be talking more with Francesca on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. Stay tuned, stay warm, and stay close.
You ain't sleeping well, uninspired, likely mad as hell. But wherever you are, I hope that road leads you home again to the world you want to live in.
All right, Francesca, that was fantastic. Fantastic. All right, cool. We take a few minute break here. We're going to come back. Oh, I sound like my grandmother. We're going to come back and we'll talk about the housing market in Milwaukee, and we'll talk about these very expensive homes. I don't equate Wisconsin with $5 million homes. It's weird.
No, I'm shocked too, like frequently at some of these houses. I'm like, I didn't know these existed in this state.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you think this is worth $5 million? Okay, you got trees, big deal. But yeah, so, and then after, when we're done with the interview, so this portion goes for 7.5 minutes. When we're done, we're going to come back into here like we're doing right now. I'm just going to have you turn your camera off, and I'll just tell you what, just stick around after the interview's done. I'll tell you what you need to do. Don't worry about
sounds
it.
good.
But yeah, you're doing great, and looking forward to more discussion.
Cool. I hope I didn't ramble too much.
That's why you're here. You're here to give your. It's Francesca. You're not rambling. You were simply giving your authoritative and expertise opinion.
Okay.
That's
the mindset. That's the mindset shift I need to have right here.
There you go. It's like when you look at your resume. I'm like, I did not work at McDonald's. I was a customer service engineer.
Exactly.
There you go. All right. Talk to you in a moment.
All right.
Welcome back to Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. I am your host, your buddy, your pal, the guy who hopes you have hand warmers, feet warmers, and hey, if you have a tush warmer, fine, get one too. I don't care. Just stay warm. It's very, very cold. You're listening to us on the Civic Media Radio Network, and we are here talking with Francesca Pica from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Remember, don't go anywhere. After the 10:30 news, we have got ourselves edition number 2 of the heard of, not yet award-winning segment called Take It or Leave It, where senior producer Tucker comes onto the show, gives me a bunch of scenarios from a topic. This time it's going to be about the James Beard awards that have been, the nominations that have been released. I'll give my thoughts, and then you'll be better off for knowing those things. And then we close out the show with This Shouldn't Be a Thing. Today is the Harpy ending edition, so don't go anywhere. Still lots of great programming, including just stuff after me, too. This doesn't shut down when I'm done. We've got Tom Hartman. We've got John and Gordy. But stick around. I'll tell you more about that after after the 10:30 news. But right now, we are talking to Francesca Pica, who is a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, talking about the real estate market here in Wisconsin over the past few years. And something that came up here in the information you gave us is that Milwaukee is apparently, according to Zillow, one of the 10 hottest housing markets in 2026. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Milwaukee has been on the up for the past few years, and more people have been discovering how cool it is, honestly. It's a cool city to live in. It's getting a little more expensive, but, I mean, that's kind of the par for the course when you have the kind of things they're doing in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and Milwaukee kind of has the benefit of being relatively affordable, like as a baseline. So, if you're coming from Illinois or Minnesota, you can find a pretty affordable house, at least in Milwaukee. Some of the outer suburbs, maybe a different question, but Milwaukee itself is still relative. You can find a decent amount of affordable stuff, depending on where you are. So that kind of helps attract more people to it. But, with that influx of demand comes the fact that, that's going to push prices up if Milwaukee doesn't, have enough of that housing to meet all that demand. And one thing it hasn't really been doing is building a lot of new stuff, especially, in Milwaukee, the city, it's hard to build out. You can't really do that anymore. But even in some of the surrounding suburbs, it's, they're still not building enough to really meet demand. So that's kind of pushing up competition as well and pushing up prices.
Well, and that's something too, is like, there's a lot of people out there who want to buy homes, and nothing against condos. My mom lives in a condo, but a lot of people don't want to buy a condo. They want to have space. They want to have property. They want to have no neighbors directly next to, above, or below. And I know that can maybe be a little daunting, and there's just not, there's finite space. So really there's no new home construction on a massive basis happening there. And yeah, I mean, the home price too. I mean, when I was looking for a house, it's like, for what I want, I can't even live in Milwaukee. It's gotten that expensive. But if expense is no measure to you, if money means nothing, Francesca, there are tons of opportunities for people to buy homes that are anywhere between $1 to $2 to $5 million. Do you want your own forest? Francesca's got more news for you. Good news for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the luxury real estate market, it exists in Wisconsin, which I think may come as a surprise to a lot of people who don't associate those $5 million, even $10 million homes with Wisconsin. But if you take a trip outside of Milwaukee and you go to, Lake Country in Waukesha or Lake Geneva, you're going to see some of the biggest lake homes you've ever seen. And those things go for, 4 or 5 up to 10 or so million, depending, on the exact kind of specifications. So it can get pretty wild.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, I had the opportunity to go to Butternut, Wisconsin this year, which is in the Northwoods area. And we were on a beautiful Butternut Lake. We were on a pontoon ride, and we saw beautiful homes. And I asked the lady who was in charge of the whole thing for us, I said, how many of these homes here are like legacy, like handed down from grandparent to parent to kids? And how many of them are like big money? She goes, mostly big money now. People can't afford to live here. And I think that's a sad thing for me, because I don't know how old you are, Francesca. I'm not going to hazard a guess, but I'm of a generation where you could say like, oh, like my parents have a cabin up north. Nowadays, that's, I mean, like I just want one house. To have a whole second property is like grandiose in scale, but I feel like that's sort of going away now with these huge homes, because a lot of these homes, yes, they're big, but you're really paying also for tons of acre property too. That's, I think, as big a sell as the house itself. But one home that I was made aware of in Wisconsin is the Barbie themed Pink Hudson home that, if you want, is, it's only $1.1 million. Come on now.
Yeah. I feel like every once in a while, once in a blue moon, you just get these like one of a kind, like unique homes, and you're like, this exists. Like someone must have poured so much time and money into making that house as pink as possible.
Yeah.
Just head to toe. But yeah, I mean, Barbie is from Wisconsin. That's where she grew up. So, I mean,
very true.
I suppose it's fitting in a way. But
although I will say this, Francesca, you and I have very different definitions of the word unique. This is very, I mean, the only saving grace is the sitting room. Or is it Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa, because it looks like your parents' bar. That's what it looks like with a big old deer head on it. But yeah, $1.1 million, and this tribute to Pepto-Bismol can be yours right now. Just go for it. I implore. If you buy this home, folks, let me know. I want a tour of it. Francesca Pica is a business reporting intern at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, talking today about real estate here in Wisconsin. Thank you so much, Francesca, for stopping by and sharing your thoughts on this and giving us your expert ideas on where we are in Wisconsin with real estate.
Thanks for having me.
All right, when we come back, another edition, the second edition of Take It or Leave It. This time it's the James Beard edition. But don't go anywhere. We got more coming to you. Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach. Stay tuned, stay warm, stay close. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. That 7.5 minutes goes by so fast. It's done before you know it. So
yeah.
I always want to talk about more, and I'm like, oh, God, we have 30 seconds. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to put you back into the waiting room. Don't leave StreamYard yet, but I'm going to put you back in the waiting room. You can turn your camera off and do whatever you need to do. You're done. Mm-hmm. I will remove you once all of the video and audio has uploaded properly. But other than that, You're set. And I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a warm, good weekend.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. And you too. Nope. Stay warm, because it's
will do. It's gross out. It's just ugh. All right. You take care of yourself, Francesca. Talk to you sooner than later, hopefully. All right.
Bye.
Can you hear me, Tucker?
Yes. Can you hear me, Greg?
I can hear you.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn my All right. Can you see me?
Nope. I see black.
I can see me on my screen. I guess you can't see me? No.
Nope.
Um.
If you want to go out and come back in, maybe that will do it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm back.
Oh, there you are. Gotcha.
Oh.
See you. I see you. I see you. I see you.
Oh,
Don't leave.
okay. You know,
There you
that's
go.
why they put the little thing that says leave or canceled. So we're good.
All right. There we go.
Okay. Great.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward. This is going to be fun.
Yes. Take it or leave it.
Yes, it will be fun.
Yes. I think this mic, I've only used it a couple of times. Is it? I'm assuming it must be picking me up. It must be working.
It's picking you up. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I can
Okay.
hear you. We can hear you. So, all right, cool. I'm going to put the thing back up and we'll talk to you in a minute or so.
All right. Sounds good, Greg. Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to Civic Media Mid-Mornings here on Civic Media. My name is Greg Bach. I'm your host, your buddy, your pal, the guy who hopes you have a good warm coat for going outside today because it's still very cold. The Civic Media Mid-Mornings weather balloon that we put on senior producer Tucker's credit card says it's still 12 below zero, still feels like 30. Oh, nope, folks, we have an announcement. It's negative 11. Woo, baby. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, negative 34 wind chill. I mean, we're getting there. Before we know it, shorts weather. So, speaking of senior producer Tucker, he is here right now for another installment, the second installment of Take It or Leave It.
Yes.
The fantastic, brand new, and totally original game show where Tucker reads off a list of things having to do with a thing we chose, and I give my thoughts on whether or not I will take them and or leave them and tell you why. It's new, it's shiny, and I'm waiting for WBA to give me an award right now for it. But we can't do this without senior producer Tucker. So everyone, welcome to the show, senior producer Tucker. Good morning, Tucker. How are you today?
I'm great, Greg. It's great to join you live. I'm glad my weather balloon is working out for us.
It was only $7,200 too. I couldn't believe it actually went through. It was awesome.
That's good. I'm glad I have a good credit score, so that's great. So okay,
right.
well, yeah, we're on our second take it or leave it game. Are we ready? Today's Take It or Leave It is themed under the James Beard Awards, which just came out this past week. Wisconsin was involved with 12, I think, awards overall
Yes.
across the state. It wasn't in just one area.
Yes.
But a lot of folks are in Milwaukee and Madison, and as usual, I think. So these are James Beard inspired. Some are kind of directly, but then more or less kind of restaurant scene inspired.
All right.
Does that sound good? Are we ready to...
I'm ready to take it.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Okay, so our first one. So this is coming from the Milwaukee bar named Motherships. Maybe some of the
Yes.
listeners know of.
Yeah.
You know of, I've heard.
I do know of it. Yes, I do.
It won an award for being an impressive with reopening after especially after a flood occurred to it not too long ago. They're known for their fun drink names. The booth is out there. Coconut curry painkiller. That sounds fun. I didn't think you could do coconut curry into a drink, but I want to know what that is all about. The number after 6. So this got me thinking, take it or leave it, weird names for drinks.
Yeah. I take it. I mean, yeah. I mean, for me, the weirder, the better. I mean, as long as you describe what it is, because I don't want to be like, if it's, the Alabama squirrel smasher, I'm like, yeah, give it to me. I drink it like, is there real squirrel in there? I'm not drinking that, but I'll totally take a drink with a fun, fancy, weird name.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I always thought you could name a bar onomatopoeia, right? And every drink could be like a sound, right? A beat, an actual onomatopoeia, which is one of the most fun words to say in the English language, which, like, can I get a buzz? Can I get a smash? A quack, etc.
Can I get a huh? That's one where you're like, I just ordered a regular drink and you built this one strong. Can I get a single huh? There we go. I came up with some drink names though.
Oh yes, let's hear what they are. Yes,
okay,
of course.
So I just came up with a couple because we got lots to cover here today. But the first one is the Old Man Fashioned, which is just like a regular Wisconsin old fashioned sweet.
Okay.
Only when you drink it, you talk about how it was so much better back in the old days when you were coming up as a kid, how everything was affordable and kids actually respected their elders. That's the Old Man Fashioned. And then, this is the Wisconsin Bloody Mary, and it has to be ordered like this, and it requires people across the country to understand it. So a Wisconsin Bloody Mary outside of Wisconsin is a Bloody Mary with a chaser, because if you go outside Wisconsin, that's not something you get with your Bloody Mary. You don't usually get a chaser, and they will look at you like you are a fool when you're like, well, where's my chaser? Well, why would you get a chaser? Because it's a Bloody Mary. It's the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
So that's the Wisconsin side. So that's Wisconsin
like that.
Bloody Mary. So that's outside Wisconsin. Inside Wisconsin, a Wisconsin Bloody Mary immediately triggers a Bloody Mary just with a full beer completely. And then finally, the Greg Bloody Mary, which is a Bloody Mary with a full beer and another Bloody Mary. Those are my drinks.
Okay, so you're a fan of the Bloody Mary.
I generally have one Bloody Mary a week on Saturday mornings with my wife. We go out to a bar in Kenosha called Church and Market at 10 a.m. I'm not kidding you. This is what we do. We get there when they open. We have our Bloody Mary. We're there for like a half an hour, and then we go do our thing.
Oh, that sounds fun. I might have to join you at the church. I mean, I live
always
over an hour away, but maybe I could if
there
I'm around in the area.
Exactly.
Church and Market. That sounds fun.
I'm not paid by them either. I'm not paid by them.
Yes, this episode is brought to you by
Church and Market.
Church and Market. Great name too. Okay, so our next take it or leave it. So I feel like James Beard Award winning kind of restaurants, and this is me stereotyping it, but they are usually places you wait to get in, or you're like wanting to. Not always. I'm 100% sure, but that's kind of the mystique around it, maybe. So take it or leave it, waiting over 30 minutes for a great meal, and I have a sub one after this. But overall, would you wait at the location for over 30 minutes?
If it's a great meal, take it, because it's going to be, I feel like you're getting a unique experience. That doesn't mean my anxiety and my tendency to become prickly in those situations aren't going to be a factor, but I would have to keep telling myself, this is going to be a great experience. This is great food. We're going to do this. Hopefully Tucker's company credit card will clear this time. He's paying for it. Yes, take it.
Okay. Well, I mean, the sub one, because this got me thinking of my childhood. I don't know if you really went to really super nice restaurants, but we would go to I remember waiting over 30 minutes for an Olive Garden experience. So
I like that you called it an Olive Garden experience.
Unlimited breadsticks or
yes.
I feel like Olive Garden, and I have respect for Olive Garden. They have great food there, but the vestibule, I just feel like that's everyone's waiting, or Texas Roadhouse or something.
Yeah.
I feel like there was always this over 30-minute dreaded wait if you showed up on a Saturday night or Friday night. Take it or leave it, waiting for those for lack of a better term, chain restaurants.
I would say leave it. I'd say because exactly, it's a chain restaurant. We can go to a different place, or we can go to a different Olive Garden. It's just down the road.
Yes.
I feel like those waiting rooms, and that's what they really are, those vestibule waiting rooms, are just a breeding ground for disaster because everyone is sitting there holding their little thing in their hand, waiting for it to buzz, and you're all looking at each other going, you got here after I got here, and you're sitting next.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it does not. But then once again, once you get seated, all of that washes away because you're like, excuse me, breadstick me. I need breadsticks now.
Yeah. Well, maybe they should start. Maybe they do this now. I haven't been for a while where, especially in this situation, but like if they bring a little cart of breadsticks to give or make the waiting room an experience, just notes for management of.
But I just want to go back to Olive Garden experience.
Yeah. Well, it is an experience. You know, you can get unlimited pasta, soup.
Oh.
Yeah, I went. It's been at least a year, but I did go not too long ago. Yeah, it's good for like I feel like a lunch on a weekday if you can get that done. That's the time to go to Olive Garden.
I was hanging out with a friend of mine. We try to grab lunch once a month, and he goes, "Where do you want to go? Can we go to Olive Garden?" And finally, like halfway through the meal, he goes, "Why here?" I'm like, unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks. I'm sorry, I can't get away from it. So there.
It's good. You know, if that's what you need, and it's already made. So
this edition of Take It or Leave It's brought to you by Church and Market and Olive Garden. All right.
Okay, great. So moving on to so public parking is a new bar here in Madison where I'm based.
Okay, that sounds very hip.
Yes, public parking. It's also really hip to a next door to one of the more lore dive bars like Caribou Tavern, I think. So that maybe adds to its hipness. But it was a national semifinalist for best new bar for the James Beard Award.
All right.
So take it or leave it. End a long week, a new place, or go to your comfort zone.
Ooh.
I guess that's different than take it or leave it. I guess take it or leave it, going to a new place after a long week of work, let's say.
I'll take going to a place after work after a long week. In fact, I mean, if it wasn't so cold, it might be today, but it's too cold.
This is not the Friday to go.
No, it's
somewhere.
not.
Yeah,
it's not.
we're all No,
so. I would say leave going somewhere new. I would probably want to just go to the place that I'm used to for that time. I don't not want to go to the new place, but I need, after a long week, you need some stability, you need dependability, and I feel like if you can go to that place, you're like, even if they don't know your name, you just know what's on the you know what kind of drinks they have, you know what's on the taps. There you go. Yeah. So I would leave it for now.
True. Yes. I mean, I was just thinking about this. I mean, I've lived in Madison for close-ish to a year, but like I was thinking, like, you know, everything's new and you have to build those stability, so it's kind of like but now I have a little bit of knowing my places, and now it's kind of this difficulty of how do I risk like rebuilding, because that is a fun time to rebuild your new old places.
Oh, absolutely. No, I totally get that, but there is a comfort in knowing it's like I got my spot.
Totally.
I got my spot.
Okay, great. So let's see. Let's hop to this one. So like I'm gonna hopefully get all these names right. Paul Zirkle, Lisa Kirkpatrick, and Zach Baker are Milwaukee area semifinalists for Best Chef in the Midwest for James Beard Award. Congratulations to them. You gotta go check out your restaurants. But take it or leave it. This is a little bit of a twist on this. I have no idea their marital status or anything, but and I am not single or anything, and I don't think you are either, Greg. But like, do you suggest dating a chef? I was talking to somebody not too long ago about dating chefs.
Oh, that
and the pluses and minuses. But take it or leave it. If in a world where if you're giving advice to someone who was asking this question,
I say take it. I say take it. Go for it, because you know I feel like there's a danger in like, oh God, are they going to be like the dude from The Bear where they're absolutely psychotic? That might not be the best relationship, but. I mean, I feel like I say take it, give it a chance. You're dating. It's not like you're married. You date if it's like, oh man, they're the restaurant's their relationship. Then of course move on, be healthy. But yeah, I would say take it, go for it. And plus, if they are cool, you're gonna eat really well too. You're gonna be trying all their new ideas.
This is right. Yeah, I think I think I would agree with you. I mean, I think it's just knowing the time commitment. If they're working every night or something, that's something to think about.
Well, I
but,
mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's how I
but
say
if
take
love
it. You go
conquers
for it.
all, you can just schedule doesn't matter. So.
Exactly.
I know we have just a couple more minutes, so let's hop over to this. Is maybe not James Beard related, but it is restaurant related. I noticed that Jason Kelsey visited Wisconsin not that long ago, last football season. The football player married. He's the brother to Travis.
They're basically
he went
married.
To
They're like best friends.
They're best friends, yes. He went to the Black Otter Supper Club, I believe, and had the 160-ounce prime rib, which is a humongous giant piece of meat. Take it or leave it, eating these supersized meals, which are at certain restaurants.
Leave it. We don't need it. You can bag it up and take it home, but I say leave it. That's all window dressing and for money and for prestige. So, and that has been another installment of Take It or Leave It with senior producer Tucker. Thank you so much, Tucker, for preparing that list. And we'll see you next Friday for the next version, the next game of Take It or Leave It. When we come back, this shouldn't be a thing. Harpy ending editions. Don't go anywhere. It is Civic Media Mid-Mornings. Stay tuned, stay warm, and stay close.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah, that was great. Cool. Well, that was that. Thanks for having me again. So
yeah, of course. And let's talk after the show. And I want to get myself like situated so I want to get home as soon as possible so I don't have to like be outside.
Yeah, do you want me to just call you right after or a little bit after?
How about this? Let me do my thing. Or do you have any meetings today? I'm sure you do.
No, I don't. No, not with Civic or anything. No.
I'll call you when I get home. So I'll call you in a little while.
Okay.
Let me get all my stuff done. I'll go home and then call you and we can chat, but we'll be good to go.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I'll talk to you then, and have a good last 10 minutes here. So.
All right, sir. We'll talk to you.
Thanks, Greg.
Talk to you later.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Bye. Welcome back to Civic Media Mid-Mornings. My name is Greg Bach, your buddy, your pal, your friend, and all things staying warm in these super, super cold temperatures. You are listening to us on the Civic Media Radio Network. We're happy that you're here today. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can always call or text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream. Talk about a couple things here on the live stream. Jenny says a Bloody Mary chaser is also referred to as a pony beerback or sidecar in other parts of the U.S. Well, good to know, because it's always a thing when we talk about Bloody Marys and you ask for a chaser and they look at you like you're a moron. That's a real thing and it exists. Referencing our latest installment of Take It or Leave It, the highly awaited game show that's in version number 2, with senior producer Tucker talking about the James Beard Awards and the local chefs and restaurants that have been nominated for this year's highly, highly prestigious event. So, as we said, go and visit those restaurants. Visit the restaurants you love and let us know. We'd love to hear about that here on the show. Still great programming still ahead today. When we are done, we are going to hand it over to Tom Hartman. He's going to be on from 11 to 2. John and Gordy is on from 2 to 5. And then we have Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Film critic Rob Thomas will be on, and Terry Barr will be talking about her bar band Friday, introducing let's see here. She will be introducing a Wisconsin-based artist who is totally in tune with a brand new song about winter in Wisconsin. And it says, I cannot emphasize how much she nailed it. So all that coming up throughout the day. Don't go anywhere. If you can't listen on terrestrial radio, go ahead and get yourself the Civic Media app. It's absolutely free. You can download it. You can stream content. You can stream program. You can listen to shows. You can listen to talk, music. You can get news. You can customize it to where you live in the state or throughout. But just get that Civic Media app on your device and take us with you wherever you go. This is Friday, which means we're not here tomorrow. But Monday coming up, oh my goodness gracious, we've got so much going on. We are going to be speaking to State Senator Dora Drake on the DEI-focused amendment and the need for social programs in Milwaukee and Wisconsin. Also talking to Asia Barber, who is a writer, stylist, and consultant who works in the intersections of sustainability and fashion, talking about how to make good fashion choices, maybe avoiding fast fashion when you can. She's been on CNN, NPR, and has written for several outlets. So that's going to be next week here on the show. Very much hope you can be here. I very much hope you can stay warm this weekend. If you can stay inside, please do that. But as I said before, if you need to go out, just make sure your car has a couple of extra things like some blankets. If you hit some snow and you get stranded, get yourself a shovel. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself, staying warm. But that is the most important thing to me, to make sure you are safe and warm and being amazing. And I hope you have an amazing weekend. But now it is 10:55, almost 10:56, which means it's time for another installment of This Shouldn't Be a Thing. If you ever have a thing that should not be, send it to Calvin and me via my email, greg.bach@civicmedia.us. Again, greg.bach@civicmedia.us. Today comes all the way from, I'm sure, very cold Pittsburgh. This is from WTAJ, the CBS outlet. Let's see here. It says, stolen $30,000 harp found after man jumped naked into Pittsburgh River. This sounds about right. I've been to Pittsburgh. I know people from Pittsburgh. This sounds correct. A Pittsburgh man was rescued from a river outside of Acrisure Stadium after allegedly stealing a harp, getting naked, and jumping in. Pittsburgh EMS River Rescue, Pittsburgh Police, and Bureau of Fire responded to a call at Point State Park Wednesday of this week. And reports said the man was in the water. According to the Public Safety Commission, the man arrived at the park with a $30,000 harp, which was later discovered to be stolen. He then left the harp in the park as he disrobed and jumped in the water. Oh my goodness, this is a very Pittsburgh story right here. Emergency personnel were able to rescue the man from the water and provide medical care before taking him into Mercy Hospital for which he is in stable condition. The police later said that they located the owner of the harp, which they said was stolen from the residence in Bethel Park area. Bethel Park police are handling the burglary incident while they take care of pursuing charges on stolen property. So I don't understand why you got naked. That's the thing. I mean, you're already in a world of hurt. You've stolen a harp. You're thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to get my clothes wet. These are nice clothes. It's also cold outside. I could get even colder. So he's like, you know what I'm going to do? Ditch the harp, ditch the clothes, jump in the river. Nothing could go wrong at this point. So I'm just going to say this: in these cold months, I don't think it makes much of a difference. I wouldn't jump naked into water. I think it does even worse for you and does not help your situation. But I'm not here to give you personal advice. I'm just going to say this: don't steal harps. They're heavy, they're expensive, and I doubt you can actually play it. So that has been another edition of
This Shouldn't Be a Thing.
All right, folks, thank you so very much for tuning in. We appreciate you being here this week. We appreciate you being here today. Again, stay warm, stay safe. I want to thank Calvin. I want to thank Tucker. I want to thank engineering. I want to thank traffic. Without them, none of this happens. I'm talking to a mic that does not work at all. I also want to thank everybody who called, who texted, who got in touch with us on the live stream. We really appreciate you. Without you, there is absolutely no us. Before we go, actually, I want to address this really quick, too. Isak in Baraboo was asking about updates to the show and access on the platform. There are updates coming very soon. Don't you worry. We will hopefully stick with us. You can still download the show under the Matt and Aaron on Air if you subscribe on podcasts, but that will be changing very, very soon. So don't you worry. We got you, Isak and Baraboo. Thank you so much for reaching out. Appreciate you listening. Give us your time. But don't go anywhere, because after the 11 o'clock news, we have Tom Hartman coming up and still lots of great programming happening throughout the day. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Civic Media. Stay tuned, stay warm, stay close. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care, everybody.